Beneath all the slogans, statues, and grand five-year plans of the Soviet Union, there was something far more tangible keeping the lights on. Oil. Not just another resource, but a lifeline. By the 1980s, the USSR wasn't so much a socialist utopia as a full-blown petrostate, hiding in plain sight. In 1981, over half the Soviet Union's hard currency earnings poured in from oil exports. Some years, that number crept up to 70%, all depending on the swings of the global market. The USSR couldn't exactly sell its laders or tractors to the West, but barrels of crude, those sold just fine. West Siberia was the prized jewel-sprawling oil fields across Tyumen and Khanty-Mansiysk, produced nearly two-thirds of Soviet output. By 1990, they peaked at 11.4 million barrels a day. Only Saudi Arabia could boast more. But here's the catch. In 1980, oil prices soared, nearly $120 a barrel. The Kremlin was suddenly flush with cash, importing grain, Western machinery, medical supplies, even the basics like toothpaste. Factories limped on, agriculture withered, but the steady flow of oil money papered over the cracks. As one Soviet economist dryly admitted in 1982, "We pretend to plan, but we survive on oil." Then, the crash. By 1986, oil prices had plunged by 75%. Suddenly, the Soviet treasury was bleeding. Foreign reserves dried up, imports plummeted, and supermarket shelves went bare. At one point, the USSR was importing over 20 million tons of grain each year, all paid for with oil money. When prices tanked, so did bread. A 1985 CIA report spelled it out. The Soviet Union is highly vulnerable to external price shocks. Translation? When oil slipped, the whole system shook. Between 1986 and 1989, oil income collapsed by over $20 billion, nearly 5% of the country's GDP. Output soon followed. After 1990, production fell by 40% in just 3 years. Fields exhausted, pipes leaking, investment gone. In 1989 alone, engineers reported losing 200,000 barrels a day to pipeline leaks. No one had the budget to fix them. The oil and the system just seeped away. Debt soared. From $18 billion in 1985 to $54 billion by 1991. Gorbachev's reforms arrived too late. Glasnost and perestroika couldn't compete with vanishing export earnings. The Soviet economy wasn't just planned. It was propped up by one volatile commodity. When that pillar cracked, everything above it came crashing down. The USSR didn't collapse because of ideology or Marx. It collapsed because oil prices did.